Mrs. F. Wright has been in touch asking, what do you think about the balance of time spent by journalists talking about gossipy politics versus the actual analysis and impact of policy? I am going to interpret that as the endless discussion about Taylor Swift and Keir Starmer, and Taylor Swift getting a police escort, Starmer's free tickets, etc. Does it matter?
Not at all. I don't give a monkeys about the whole thing. I've spoken to journalists who do give many monkeys, and what they would say is Keir Starmer took free tickets from somebody with whom he had a policy issue. In other words, he was the person who ultimately authorised the blue lighting and the security convoy through London. Therefore, he shouldn't have taken any free tickets. Now, as somebody who wouldn't take a free ticket from Taylor Swift if it was offered.
I would.
Because you don't like her, or because you have
because I don't like her. Not I don't like her, but because I wouldn't enjoy Taylor.
Andrew is not a Swiftie.
I'm not a Swiftie. I'm a slowie. Now, late Bruckner, that's something entirely different. Bit of Shostakovich, fine. Taylor Swift's less so. Anyway, I have no problem. If people want to go and hear Taylor Swift and they're given free tickets, I do think there is a slight problem with the Labour leadership generally. They have to get into the habit again of putting their hands into their pockets if they want stuff. I get that. And I also think that they have to be very, very careful of the perception of double standards, given what they said about the Tories. And 3, yes, if you've been involved in a decision about Taylor Swift, be very careful about taking a present from Taylor Swift. Doesn't look good. Having said all of that, I said at the beginning, this is such a small story. I don't give a monkeys. We are surrounded by turbulent, really important political issues which press down upon millions of people. And we need to talk about Taylor Swift. Sorry, I've said the words again. Less.
But Rachel, I mean, the bit that I find so ridiculous is that there was a real threat to Taylor Swift, wasn't there, from her Austrian concerts that were planned in Vienna in August. They had to be cancelled because of that threat. Now, it seems quite sensible and, what's the issue with her having a police escort? Because at the same time, she's producing billions or millions at least from those Wembley concerts for our economy.
So when Taylor Swift came to London with her concerts, that was estimated to have added around £1 billion to the UK economy. There were also suggestions that after her concerts in Vienna were cancelled due to that very credible terror threat, her team wanted police protection, and when it was suggested that it didn't quite meet the rules of that police protection, there might have been some threat to cancel the concerts. Can you imagine the headlines under a new Labour government? Labour government denies Taylor Swift protection after terror threat, concerts cancelled, millions of people,
dreary,
hundreds of thousands of
miserablest
people,
socialists cancelled Taylor Swift. Yeah.
And I really
pictures of little girls with glitter dripping into their tears.
I want to ask Robert Jenrick and Kemi Badenoch, actually, if you had been Prime Minister, what would you have let the concerts be cancelled? I want to hear them say, yes, I would have cancelled Taylor Swift's Wembley concerts. I don't think Rishi Sunak would have done, because he was a big Swiftie as well. There's also another row over the fact that Keir Starmer met her after one of the concerts, and completely missing from the conversation about that is the fact that, as well as the threat in Vienna, there was a horrific triple murder, a stabbing at a Taylor Swift themed dance class in Southport, and Taylor Swift herself put out a statement about how heartbroken she was about that. And I think it is perfectly justifiable for her to have a few minutes with the Prime Minister to discuss that. And that has been completely missing from the conversation. The terror threat has been completely missing from the conversation. The economic impact of the concerts and the cancellation of the concerts has been missing. And it proves my rule that journalists love to put Taylor Swift in a headline because they know it will do well, and they love to put her on the front page because she looks great in a sequined leotard.
Well, that's a very thorough part to that bit of the question. Andrew, just,
Anton
briefly...
Bruckner never looked good in a sequined leotard, I think.
I'll agree with you. Why don't the media focus, do you think, on more on the analysis and impact of policy?
Well, we are the new Statesman. Yeah. We would be saying this. I can hear right round the media village snorts of derision. Because, of course, people have a relatively short attention span.
Well, we talk about Taylor Swift a lot as well, to be fair.
They like vivid, colourful stories that, hook people in. And as we were hearing in our conversation with Will Dunn yesterday, some of the big economic stuff is hard to get your head around. There are the thickets of acronyms and the very, very complicated billions here and billions there. And it is difficult. But I think, I think our job is to take the difficult stuff and make it as comprehensible as possible. When I joined The Economist many, many years ago, I was taken to one side in a corridor and they said, we have a little private motto here, Andrew. We don't publish it very much. And I said, what's that? He said, it's the secret of our journalism. And I think of all journalism, this chap said, and it goes like this: simplify, then exaggerate.
Journalists do this because people like reading it, and there's a balance there. A piece on here's this very important but quite technical change in a tax law versus Taylor Swift, Wembley, sleaze, Labour, all of that. What are people more likely to click on? Which isn't an excuse, but it is context. I think the key is, can you link the two? So there was a tweet yesterday. There was a tweet earlier this week by somebody joking, look, if Taylor Swift is given an NHS contract or part of HS2 to run, then we can start talking about sleaze. And I responded to that with, I would be very happy to give Taylor Swift part of HS2 to run if it meant HS2 actually got built. And then yesterday we had the announcement that HS2 probably is being built, or at least more of it than we thought. And I'm going to give Taylor Swift full credit for that decision. And I think we should name the line after her.
It's going to be a Swift connection, isn't it?
I like Avanti Hero as a... Please send in your other Taylor Swift train-themed puns.